Giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakwadash. That's saying giving all praise to the Father, the God of the Bible, in the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is in all believers of the gospel of Yahweh Shai Mashiach's death, burial, and resurrection. All right, so today we're going to be reacting to a video posted by Arrows of Indignation 144. So this will be fair use because I don't want no copyright strikes or nothing like that. Fair use basically just saying that this is a public video on YouTube that I will be reacting to, right? So they're the ones that posted it. All right, so I'll be reacting to basically this white woman explaining white privilege and, basically stuff that she doesn't have to worry about that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites, got to worry about living in this country. And basically she's going to be going at white people too, so-called white people, right? The Edomites, basically saying that, there's no way that y'all can deny white privilege. You know what I'm saying? With all the stuff that came out of slavery, you know what I'm saying? As a result of it, creating wealth gaps, deep cultural scars, you know what I'm saying? Loss of, family lineage, you know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Torture, mentally and physically, you know what I'm saying? Having to deal with persecution still here in America, right? And I'm going to be tying in the video basically with Psalm chapter 83, you know what I'm saying, which is why this white privilege exists in America, because they took crafty counsel against our people, right? I'm saying that Psalms chapter 83 explains, you know what I'm saying, what they did to us, you know what I'm saying, and as a result of what they did to us, you know what I'm saying, it's created all this, all these gaps and basically the white privilege that you see going on today. You know what I'm saying? Police going after us and not them, right? False arrests, all this type of stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the video.
White people, the white people that don't believe in white privilege. Let me tell you something. White privilege is a real fucking thing. And I know you can't comprehend it or understand it and all that bullshit. My hair crazy. Anyway, let me explain it to you this way, white people, and maybe you'll understand it coming from a white person. Maybe you will understand the white privilege that I'm telling you. I've never in my life been thankful that my boys are white. Ever. Never been thankful that they were white. But now, with the shit that's going on in this goddamn world, I'm thankful that my children are white. That's one less worry I have to worry about my children. There's your white privilege. I don't have to worry about my child when he goes out that fucking door that he's going to be harassed by ICE or harassed by the police. I don't have to worry about that. That right there is white privilege. And I've never been thankful that my children, especially my boys, are white. Understand that? And I hate to say it like that, but that's what white privilege is. And if that's the way I gotta say it and the way to get it through your fucking head, that y'all don't realize how thankful you should be that you're goddamn white. I'm embarrassed to be white because of what we fucking do. That's for damn sure. But I'm also thankful because it's one less worry that I have to worry about for my children. Does that not register with you that these people that are brown, that are black, that are from different countries, they have that extra worry because of that? That's what white privilege is. It's being white, not having to worry about that stuff that comes with being from another country or brown or black. That's what white privilege is. Having not to worry, that one less worry off of you, because it's a big worry, especially right now. Like I said, I've never been thankful that my children are white until now. I've never been thankful to be white until now, because it's one less worry.
All right, so first of all, you know what I'm saying, I'm proud to be an Israelite. I'm proud to be a so-called black man, as anyone else who's an Israelite should be. You know what I'm saying? It's not that anyone wants to be so-called white, like never. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're Israelites, we're God's chosen people. You know what I'm saying? But being a so-called white person comes with certain privileges and benefits that they get, you know what I'm saying, just being here in America, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually they're the ones, they're the first ones hired, you know what I'm saying? Last one's fired, and it's vice versa with us, you know what I'm saying? They have the positions in government, they have the positions in police, they have the positions in all these spots, you know what I'm saying, which creates an influence, you know what I'm saying, on the rest of the peoples, right? And on the people watching over the people, right? Which in turn makes them look at so-called white people as, you know what I'm saying, not as much of a problem. And they look at so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans as the ones who cause the problems, because of the birth of this of America is born off of racism, you know what I'm saying, and so-called white supremacy, you know what I'm saying. I say so-called because they're not really supreme. They're not really supreme, you know what I'm saying. But they formed a nation, you know what I'm saying, where whites are treated as the top, you know what I'm saying. That's what they've created here in America, and it was born on racism, slavery, you know what I'm saying, and all that, all the disgusting things that happened during the slave trade. All right, and it continued on like that. So once they went ahead and transitioned to slavery from chains and cotton to, you know what I'm saying, working these jobs, you know what I'm saying, and getting trained into the system so that America can make even more money off of us, because they realize, you know what I'm saying, that they can make more money if they actually trained us to do certain stuff instead of just being, you know, field workers, right? So that continues on, goes into Jim Crow, you know what I'm saying, because they fear us rising up, because they fear them getting their they fear that they fear the same thing happening to them that they did to us, you know what I'm saying, which we are going to put them in slavery, you know what I'm saying. It's like spiritually, you know what I'm saying, those wicked Edomites, they know that they're going to get judged, you know what I'm saying, you know. So their whole fear of being, you know what I'm saying, replaced or judged, you know what I'm saying, it causes them to continue to persecute us, and it causes them to resent us, you know what I'm saying, because in their wicked minds they feel like we're the problem, you know what I'm saying, even though they're the problem. They're the one who created all these crimes, you know what I'm saying, not created but did all these crimes that caused us to be here, you know what I'm saying, and that caused them to have the fear of being taken over by us, you know what I'm saying, that they did that, you know what I'm saying, they feel guilty and they feel shame about it, you know what I'm saying, so they take it out, you know what I'm saying, and it turns into all these forms of you know what I'm saying, white privilege going on, you know what I'm saying, cops targeting us, like I said, you know what I'm saying, harsher sentences in jail, you know what I'm saying, false arrests, you know what I'm saying, wealth gap, not able to get jobs, not able to build careers, not able to rise up in jobs. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the definition of white privilege. All right, so I put in on Google, shortly explain white privilege. All right, white privilege is the unearned social advantages that white people receive due to their race, often unconsciously. It does not mean that white people don't face hardship, but that race is not one of the factors making their lives more difficult. Examples include being able to find flesh-colored bandages that match their skin, seeing people of their race widely represented in media, and interacting with authority figures without the fear of racial profiling. All right, so so a so-called white person, you know, obviously, you know what I'm saying, they're like they're, one of their family members could die, or they could get in a car accident, you know what I'm saying, like they could face personal hardship. But the thing is, like it says right there, you know what I'm saying, they have certain benefits that they receive just existing as a so-called white person in America, you know what I'm saying, and race will never be a factor and why they're struggling systematically, you know what I'm saying, or why they're struggling even personally, you know what I'm saying, because they control the stuff that's going on, you know what I'm saying. Even if they were attacked, you know what I'm saying, for their race, you know what I'm saying, the whole result of that would be from what they've done, you know what I'm saying. So they have, like I said, they have benefits living here. All right, so seeing their race widely represented, you know what I'm saying? They get mad that we're represented, right, in the media. The little that we are, you know what I'm saying? When all this history, not only are they represented in media, but they whitewashed history. You know what I'm saying? They made characters white that weren't. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I say white, I'm talking about the Edomites. I'm so-called white. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to have to say so-called every time. You know what I'm saying? Because people might be confused, right? I mean so-called by what the world calls them, all right? So, like I said, interacting with authority figures, which is the police, government, judges, you know what I'm saying, without fear of being racially profiled, all right? So, not having being able to assume that skin color would not be a disadvantage when seeking a job or housing. See, yep, and housing too, all right? So, same thing with that. So, those are some examples of white privilege, you know, like exactly I was talking about, all right? So, we're going to go ahead and see, you know what I'm saying, we see the result, you know what I'm saying, which is all these benefits from living in America that so-called white people have, and the results, you know what I'm saying, which is all the white privilege and the mistreatment, you know what I'm saying. But the reason why it's like this today is because of all the wickedness that they did when they got together to try to cut us off from being a nation and sold us into slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's where it started. You know what I'm saying? Them getting free labor off of us for over 400 years, you know what I'm saying? Creating wealth gap, you know what I'm saying? Creating old money that flows through white families, white privilege, you know what I'm saying? Born into these benefits, you know what I'm saying? So-called white people being the government, being the police chiefs, you know what I'm saying? Controlling the narrative. Their mindset is what controls the country, since they are the ones who took this land by force and created this country called America, you know what I'm saying, which is the daughter of Babylon in the Bible, right? You know what I'm saying? Born off the slave trade, you know what I'm saying? Off the nations conspiring against us, you know what I'm saying, to sell us into slavery. All right, so this is Psalm 83, verse 1. O God, be not silent, be not speechless. Be not still, O God. See how your enemies rage, how your foes have reared their heads. With cunning, they scheme against your people and conspire against those you cherish. That's what all the nations did, especially the Edomites, all right? Ishmaelites too, I would say a lot. Verse 4, saying, come, let us erase them as a nation. May the name of Israel be remembered no more. That's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the Israelites. We are Israel. We match the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Verse 5, for with one mind they plot together. They form an alliance against you, the tents of Edom. All right, that's the so-called white people, and the Ishmaelites. All right, so that's the Arab of Moab, the Chinese, and the Hagrites of Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek. All right, Ammon is Japan, Japanese, you know what I'm saying? Amalek is the so-called fake Jews. All right, one of the people. Amalek is the son of Esau. So just like, you know, you have the Edomites. Amalek are Edomites as well, but Amalek was one of the sons of Edom. All right. Of Philistia with the people of Tyre, that's the so-called Africans. All right, the first people that dwelled on that coastland. You know what I'm saying? When it was referred to as the land of Canaan. You know what I'm saying? Scripture refers it to as the land of Canaan and the land of Israel, because that's the land that Israel took over from Canaan. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the name of the land. You know what I'm saying? It's the land of Israel because the land, that's the land that the Israelites took over. All right. Sorry to go off into something else real quick, but I just wanted to explain that. All right, verse 8. Even Assyria has adjoined them, the Assyrians, leading strength to the sons of Lot. All right. So they all plotted it together against us. All right. They tried to cut us off from being a nation. You know what I'm saying? They took our heritage, our identity. You know what I'm saying? Made us change our names. You know what I'm saying? Sold us into slavery, chattel slaves. You know what I'm saying? Children born into slavery. All right. And basically they're going to get judged, as the verse continues saying. You know what I'm saying? As fire consumes a forest, as a flame sets the mountain ablaze, so pursue them with your tempest and terrify them with your storm. All right. May they ever be ashamed and terrified. May they perish in disgrace. May they know that you alone, whose name is Yahweh, are most high over all the earth. Amen. So, yeah, that is why there's white privilege going on today, because of how they mistreated us for so long and created all these wealth gaps, you know what I'm saying, and all these people born with these racist mindsets against the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, because so-called white people's racism is trying to put themselves above us, you know what I'm saying, which is false, you know what I'm saying, we're above them, all right, and what you see today in America is the result of it. You know what I'm saying? All the mistreatment, you know what I'm saying? All the white privilege that so-called white people get from the history of America and how it continues to be a result going in today. So with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash, Shalom.